Gentlemen, listen closely. Desire isn't born in the skin. It begins in the mind. Before you ever lay a hand on her, you must learn the art of penetrating her emotional world. This is how real men, high-value men, build connection, seduction, and obsession. Without even lifting a single finger, let's begin. Women are surrounded by emotional noise, texts, notifications, drama, superficial conversations, men trying too hard, trying to impress, trying to charm their way in. What separates you from all of them is stillness, not passive silence, but controlled, powerful stillness, the kind of energy that doesn't move just because something external happens, the kind of grounded presence that says, I'm not here to entertain you, I'm here because I choose to be. That kind of energy is rare, and it's hypnotic. When a woman sees a man who is unshaken by her beauty, unaffected by her tests, unfazed by the energy of others, she feels something primal stir within her. It's not just attraction, it's submission to strength. Masculine energy isn't loud or flashy. It doesn't seek attention. It commands attention without effort. It's how you walk into a room and don't rush to speak. How you sit back and observe before engaging. How you respond to tension not with reaction, but with calm control. That kind of energy tells her, this man is dangerous, not because he's aggressive, but because he's disciplined. He's not easy to seduce. He's not trying to be liked. And that's what makes her want to be the exception. She wants to see what's behind that unbothered face. She wants to be the reason you break that stillness. But you don't give her that satisfaction easily. You stay grounded. You don't chase. You don't try to prove. You let your energy speak. The man who is deeply connected to his own purpose, who isn't thrown off by feminine emotion, who doesn't get pulled into drama or temptation, that's the man who naturally seduces without even trying. It's the contrast between her emotional wave and your unwavering calm that creates sexual polarity. You don't argue, you don't beg, you don't explain yourself to people who haven't earned access to you. Your stillness becomes a mirror, and she starts seeing herself more clearly in your presence. That alone is powerful. That alone creates a desire to be close to you, not because of what you say or what you do, but because your energy feels like a refuge. A rare masculine refuge in a chaotic world. Most men speak to what's obvious, the way she looks, the shape of her body, the curve of her smile. But every man does that. Compliments are cheap when they come from a place of lust, or from a desperate need to be liked. A woman has heard it all before. What she hasn't experienced often is a man who speaks directly to her mind and soul. When you open your mouth, you have two choices: reinforce the surface or awaken something deeper. If you want to stir her desire without touching her, you must master the language that touches what's asterisk beneath asterisk the surface. Words that activate her imagination. Words that reach into her private, unspoken world. Ask her what she's passionate about. Ask her what makes her feel alive. Ask her what scares her. What she's always wanted to do but never dared to. And when she answers, don't just nod, reflect, engage. Let her know through your tone and your attention that her mind turns you on far more than her skin ever could. The truth is, women crave mental stimulation just as much, if not more, than physical affection. A man who can carry her into a fantasy, who can paint vivid images of what he sees in her, who can weave stories with his words that make her feel transported. That man is unforgettable, because he creates asterisk feeling asterisk without physicality. He makes her feel naked without taking off her clothes. Your voice, your phrasing, your ability to speak with layered intention, that becomes foreplay. And when you describe things in detail, not about her body, but about a shared vision, a hidden desire, an unsaid thought, it makes her see you as someone rare, someone emotionally fluent, someone who listens deeply and communicates even deeper. You become a space she wants to return to, again and again, because while the physical can fade, the emotional imprint you leave with your words will echo in her long after you're gone. Most men touch the body and miss the woman. But if you can touch her soul with your speech, she'll feel that you've undressed parts of her that even she forgot existed. Presence is one of the most overlooked yet most potent forces of attraction a man can possess. We live in a world addicted to distraction, our attention constantly being pulled in 1,000 directions, phones buzzing, thoughts racing, scrolling endlessly from one thing to the next. Most men are there in body but absent in spirit. They're in the room but not truly present, and women feel that. They feel when a man is half, listening, waiting for his turn to talk, mentally elsewhere while pretending to engage, and it repels them. What draws a woman in, what makes her feel magnetically pulled toward a man, is the sensation that she is the only person in his world at that moment, that his attention isn't just on her, it's rooted in her. It's the way your eyes don't dart around the room. It's the way you're still when she speaks. It's how you respond after a pause, not instantly reacting, but absorbing what she said. It's how you sit in silence without rushing to fill it. That kind of presence is electric. It's rare, and it tells her something crucial. This man has depth. He's not living on autopilot. He's not just running lines or saying what he thinks she wants to hear. He's asterisk here asterisk, fully, and that level of presence makes her open up. It makes her let down walls, become more vulnerable, more expressive, more emotionally available, because your presence gives her permission to be real. It feels safe, it feels grounded, it feels masculine, and that's what awakens desire, not just lust, but a longing to be close to you, to be around that energy that makes her feel truly seen and felt. She begins to crave your attention not because you're performing or proving anything, but because your presence makes her feel valuable, like her thoughts, her emotions, her essence actually matter. That is rare. And when you do speak, it lands. It carries weight, because your words come from a place of full awareness, not from distraction or desperation. Presence is not passive, it's powerful. It's an unspoken form of dominance. And when a man has trained himself to be fully immersed in the moment, not needing to control it, but simply owning it by the strength of his attention, he doesn't have to touch a woman to make her feel something. She feels it in the silence, in the pauses, in the way he holds space. It's not about being loud, flashy, or overly confident. It's about being fully alive in the now. That is what women remember. That is what keeps them coming back. Not the man who chased, but the man whose presence made her forget the world for a moment. Desire is not always about what's given. Sometimes it's about what's withheld. And in a world obsessed with instant gratification, the man who understands the power of delayed gratification becomes unforgettable. Most men rush. They want to impress, to escalate, to speed things up. But in doing so, they eliminate the very thing that makes desire burn, tension. When you give her everything up front, constant compliments, non-stop availability, predictable patterns, you rob her of the thrill of anticipation. And anticipation is everything. It's the suspense in the pause, the meaning behind a glance, the question mark at the end of a conversation. When a woman doesn't quite know what you're going to say or do next, when she's not sure if you'll text her today or let silence speak for you, she begins to wonder. and in that wondering she invests. Emotionally, mentally, and eventually physically, tension is the slow build. It's the art of giving just enough to keep her leaning in, but never so much that she feels full. You compliment her once with precision, not fluff. You maintain eye contact, but you don't gaze for too long. You show interest, but you also retreat. You create moments that feel charged, moments where the air thickens between you. But then you walk away before anything happens. Not out of fear or insecurity, but by choice, because you understand the value of space. Space creates curiosity, and curiosity creates desire. You become a question that she wants to answer, a riddle she can't quite solve, a presence she feels even when you're not there. And then, just when she thinks she has a grip on your rhythm, when she believes she's figured you out, you shift, you go quiet, you become distant, not cold, but unavailable. You remove your presence just enough to create a void, and that void, that space where your energy used to be, suddenly becomes loud. She notices it, she feels it. She starts to reflect on the things you said, the way you looked at her, the way you made her feel without even touching her. That's the power of withdrawal, not as a punishment, but as a tool. A psychological seduction that deepens her craving for connection. You're not abandoning her. You're giving her time to want you more. This isn't manipulation, it's discipline. It's understanding that giving her constant access to you makes you ordinary, but becoming rare, selective, and a little elusive, that makes you unforgettable. She starts to chase not just your attention, but your essence. She wants to know what's behind your pauses, what you're doing when you're not talking to her, what you're thinking when you're silent, and suddenly you're not just a man, you're a fantasy. A man whose presence lingers even in absence, because she never got the whole story. She never got everything she wanted, and that lack of closure, that lingering desire, becomes the fire that keeps burning. A woman doesn't just want a man with a strong body. She craves a man with a compelling mind, a man with a vision, a man whose values radiate from his actions without him needing to announce them. When a man knows who he is, what he stands for, and where he's going, his presence becomes intoxicating. You're not just some attractive guy. You become a symbol of meaning, purpose, and direction, and women are naturally drawn to purpose. They want to be close to something bigger than themselves. They want to feel like they're aligning with a man whose path is clear, whose energy is potent, and whose life is rooted in something deeper than surface pleasures. When you speak with conviction, not arrogance but certainty, you activate something in her that feels both safe and exhilarating. Talk to her about your philosophies, about what you believe men and women are here for, about your principles when no one is watching. Speak in a way that reveals depth, not in an attempt to impress her, but because you live your truth with such clarity that you can't help but express it. Let her see that your decisions are guided by something internal, not external validation. That when you commit to something, it's not a reaction to pressure, but a choice born from inner strength. That when you lead, it's because you've led yourself first. A man like that doesn't need to ask for desire. He creates it, not with shallow seduction, but with soulful dominance. Because when a woman witnesses a man so devoted to his mission that he won't compromise his standards for fleeting attention, she admires him. And that admiration turns into attraction. That attraction turns into longing, and that longing turns into desire that has nothing to do with touch and everything to do with energy. You begin to represent something rare, a masculine force that is whole, focused, and emotionally intelligent. You become a man who doesn't just take up space. You shape it, and she feels that. She doesn't just want to be near you. She wants to be part of your world, because your vision is magnetic, and the way you carry it is unforgettable. Now listen closely. In a world where men chase and women retreat, where touch is used to substitute for depth, you now know something most don't. You can spark her desire without even laying a finger on her. Through your presence, your discipline, your mystery, your purpose, you can live in her mind rent-free. The key is emotional mastery, because when you know how to influence her inner world, her outer world will naturally follow. You don't need to touch her body to ignite something powerful. Touch her soul instead, and she will never forget the way you made her feel. A woman's deepest desire isn't just to be touched, it's to be moved. And the men who move her most powerfully are the ones who give her a reason to believe that being with them means becoming something more. When you speak about your vision with clarity and fire, when you talk about your purpose not as a vague ambition, but as a mission you live by, something shifts in the way she sees you. You stop being just a man and start becoming a path, an experience, a force, and that is deeply seductive, because women are drawn to energy that elevates them. When she feels that being close to you could mean rising higher, learning more, living with deeper intensity, she begins to invest emotionally, not just in you, but in the possibility of what she could become with you. You see, the average man focuses on attention. He wants her eyes, her laughter, her approval. But the rare man, the man she craves without even understanding why, focuses on influence. He doesn't need her validation because he is too busy becoming. Becoming stronger, smarter, sharper, more disciplined, more visionary. He doesn't talk about his goals like their dreams. He speaks of them like their destiny. And when a woman hears that, something ancient awakens in her. It's not the desire to dominate or control, it's the desire to join to merge, to be part of something powerful. This doesn't mean you make her feel lesser, quite the opposite. You make her feel that her beauty, her intelligence, her femininity enhances the life you're building. That there's space in your kingdom for her, but only if she brings something meaningful. She's not a distraction from your path. She becomes a welcomed part of your journey because she aligns with it. Speak about your values with conviction. Let her know that your life isn't shaped by trends, but by principles. That you don't bend just to be liked. You hold to your standards because they define who you are. Women test men to see what they stand for. Most fail because they fold under pressure. But when she tests you and finds that your standards don't shake, she respects you more. And that respect turns into emotional safety. And that safety becomes attraction on a level far deeper than surface-level flirtation. It's emotional intimacy built on admiration, and that, more than charm, looks, or wit, is what creates long-term desire. When she listens to you speak about discipline, about delayed gratification, about self-mastery, about becoming a man who leads his life with vision instead of impulse, she doesn't just get intrigued. She gets aroused, because that kind of man is hard to find. That kind of man doesn't need to touch her body to make her feel his power. She feels it when he walks into a room, when he speaks with focus, when he listens with care, and when he chooses her not out of loneliness, but from a place of strength and alignment. That's how you create desire, through vision and values. Not by chasing her, but by building a world she wants to be part of. Not by seducing her with lines, but by leading with purpose so clearly that she begins to imagine herself beside you, not because she has to, but because it feels like home. You make her feel that loving you isn't just emotional, it's evolutionary. When you master the art of stirring her mind, engaging her soul, and radiating unshakable masculine presence, you realize something powerful. Touch becomes optional. It's not your hands that captivate her, it's your energy. It's not what you say, but asterisk how asterisk you say it. It's not the attention you give her, but the asterisk experience asterisk she has in your presence. Most men chase physical connection. But the wise man, the stoic, grounded, emotionally intelligent Mankri, eats desire through restraint, depth, and intention. And once a woman feels that kind of energy, once she experiences a man who doesn't just want her body, but awakens her entire being, she doesn't forget it. She asterisk can't asterisk forget it, because that kind of man doesn't come around often, and when he does, he doesn't need to touch her to leave a mark.